The strange thing about living through fast change is you don't really feel it moving. You just feel slightly behind. You wake up and realize the world you prepared for isn't the world you're in. There's a version of success most people were chasing. Learn the right skill, build the right career, figure out the system, and then relax inside it. You figured out the plan. That version assumed one thing, that the world would stay roughly the same while you climbed it. It didn't. The gap between what seemed promise and what's actually happening keeps getting wider, and now faster. So what changed? For most of human history, things change a lot slower than they are happening now. Humans have gone through lots of changes through our recorded history. We went from time of hunter and gatherers to agricultural societies. Then you have long eras where life had a certain rhythm. The Copper Age, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age. These were all major changes for humans to go through, but most of them unfolded over generations of people. The culture, society, governments all had time to adjust. Most people look back on Rome as a single type of life, but it went from a kingdom to a type of democracy to a Caesar to a full-blown emperor. Even the fall of Rome took decades. There was no last day where the next morning Rome stopped existing. Now in the world we live in, some industries are changing every few months. The shelf life of skills is also shrinking faster than ever. Back in the day, if you had a skill, you used that for life. If you learned to be a blacksmith in 1126, you didn't have to worry about that career being gone by 1136. Even 600 years later, you'd still find blacksmiths. But starting at the Industrial Revolution, jobs started to go away within a generation or two. Blacksmiths became a thing of the past. Telephone operators went from essential to gone within a generation. But today, people are still waiters, flight attendants, mechanics, plumbers, doctors, lawyers, accountants. For the last 100 years, those jobs held. The rules were stable enough to build a career on. Your grandfather may have worked at the same company his entire career, left with a pension and a gold watch. That was a deal. Loyalty in, security out. Now you're considered successful if you stay at the same company for 5 years. But after the year 2000, people saw more and more types of jobs going away. First, some went to other countries with lower wages, but now even those jobs are getting automated. The skills you needed to stay relevant kept changing faster and faster. It even seems like the institutions we once counted on are now struggling to keep up. Our educational systems and governments were built for slower change. Our technology moves faster than governments can create laws for. It just means the system needed updating for what is coming. Schools charge hundreds of thousands of dollars to train you for careers that might be gone in a couple of years. The future-proof degree 5 years ago was computer coding. Now a lot of programming is done by AI. This leaves young adults in debt, struggling to find work, and not using the skills they were trained for. You now hear people recommending a trade like plumbing as a better alternative to college. That's something completely new. Help protect our kids. David's story. I was a good student in high school. After graduation, instead of finding a good trade school like a lot of my friends, I started hanging out with the wrong group of people. College kids. For some reason, I thought it was cool to be like them. But I found out the hard way that these guys were all going into massive debt, getting degrees that weren't valued. I want to help stop other kids from going down that road. Think about how much has changed in just the last couple of decades. 2000 is roughly where the rhythm broke. Before that, change had a pace you could keep up with. After that, it changed. Here's a way to think about it. Since 2000, we got hit in 3 ways at once. Our attention got completely rewired. Phones, smartphones, social media, filters, meeting strangers online instead of in person. Then we took some serious hits. 9/11, wars, a housing crash, a pandemic. And the whole time, the foundation kept moving. And now AI on top of it all. All of that in roughly 25 years. When one thing changes, you adapt. When your job, your industry, your relationships, and your attention are all changing at once, that's a lot to process. And most people are going through something similar. If you knew a loved one who went through that amount of personal change, you'd probably check in on them. Hey Sam, I heard you went through a few wars, a couple financial crises, a pandemic, having trouble getting a good job, and you can't even afford a home. Let me know if you want to grab a drink and talk about it. What's coming is genuinely new, not just hard, new. But here's what I keep coming back to. That feeling of being slightly behind, that's what it feels like to be paying attention during the fastest period of change in human history. Most people aren't even doing that. You can't navigate what you can't see, and now you're starting to see it. What things do you feel are changing too fast right now? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for thinking with me.
What's the deal with the new water jugs at the well? 2 handles? 2? What's wrong with the one-handle system? Our people have been using one handle for hundreds of years. These kids today, I don't know.